Come on, man. Come on, man. Man, that's good. Man, that's good. How's everybody doing? Everybody okay? Everybody good? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Uncle Lou After Dark, the college football call-in show. YouTube's longest running college football call-in show, too. Yep, that's right. Almost everybody does it better. No one's been doing it longer. I just won't go away. I just won't give up. Yeah, I just won't give up. Like Florida State fans and their hopes for Mike Norvell. They just won't give up. 3 losing seasons in 5 years. No big deal. No big deal. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's week has gotten off to a great start. Happy Tuesday. Not a lot going on. NBA's wrapped up now. Shout out to whatever Oklahoma City Thunder fans might be out there on winning the NBA Finals over the Indiana Pacers on Sunday night. We hung out and watched that game on a live stream. Some of y'all were in there. We had a good time. We talked college football while we watched the basketball game. Had a pretty good time. And now we're pretty much left with just baseball until the college football season starts. And I just can't bring myself to watch baseball. I gamble on it a little bit here and there, but I really can't bring myself to watch a baseball game. So I doubt we'll be having any baseball game streams between now and the start of the football season. Maybe we'll do some type of hangout streams on the weekends or some Q&As or whatever, something. We'll figure out something to do, but I don't know that I can force myself to watch a baseball game. Ain't got no interest in it. Yeah, ain't got no interest in it. But we're stuck with pretty much just that. Now that the NBA is wrapped up, I guess we're going to have to figure out a way to make do. Yeah, make do. It's a weird phrase, isn't it? It's a weird phrase. Got everything you need? Well, pretty much. I think we're going to have to just make do. All right, well, make do, I guess. Florida's been pretty much making do since they hired Billy Napier. A lot of it, too. Tons of it. Do, that is. 3 seasons worth so far. But the 4th year is the charm down there in Gainesville. So don't worry about that, Florida man. Hold your head high. Hold your head high. I don't know what to tell you there. And just continue to make do. Gonna have to make do. Yeah? You might want to check down there with Billy Napier. He's been making do for 3 straight years. He's got it figured out. You might want to check with him on the whole making do deal. He seems to have mastered the art of making do. Yeah. He's made do for 3 straight seasons, I guess. I could continue to talk about making do for an hour, or we could talk some college football. This is a college football call-in show, believe it or not. There's a link in the description of the video. All you got to do is click that link. It's a StreamYard link. It's really easy to use. If you've never used StreamYard before, don't worry about it. You don't need to download anything or have any type of app. Just do it right from your phone there. Just click that link in the description of the video that says join the show. I'll also post it from time to time in the comment section like I just did. Just click that link. Little box comes up. It'll ask for your name, whatever you want me to call you, Steve or whatever it is, and type it in the box. Click Enter Studio. It'll put you into a sort of a back room situation where you'll be able to hear the show. And then when it's your turn to come on and talk some college football, I'll put you on. And we'll talk some college football. It's really, really easy. We've even had a couple of South Carolina fans figure out how to do it over the years. So that tells you right there that it can't be all that complicated. It can't be all that complicated. Anyway, let's take roll. I need to know who's here because I'm taking mental notes on which one of you woozies like to skip out on the off season. Yeah. So let's see who's not a woozy and who is checked in today. Have to Kill Me First is here. Jay Shipes, Green Street Utes, Sasquatch, Yoda T, Harry Leggy, not related to the captain of the Disney Dog Army, Dean Leggy, John Dowd, Mike Millie, is that what it says? Gamecock in Athens, Don Doherty, 1989 M, Prime Time Vol, what's up, buddy? Nicholas Barber, Floby, Zona Tucson, good to see you in here, buddy. Zona, any chance we can get you up to Vegas in January? We missed you this last January and the January before. We're awfully close to Arizona out there. Make the trip up and hang out with us, bud. You know we got a place for you to stay there. All you got to do is show up, man. Biggs Mike, Richie Dubs, Yoda T, Todd Webb, Bo Hunting, Nathan, JG, The Duck Knight, a proud participant of the YouTube's Got Talent contest, which we've been running on the morning show for the last couple of weeks. Those of you who don't tune into the morning show, y'all are missing out. Now, you've been missing out for about 5 years now, but this time of year, every June, we do a talent show over there on my second channel on the morning show. And viewers send in videos of themselves doing talents. Now, the term talent has taken on different meanings over the years on the YouTube's Got Talent show. And in a lot of cases, it's not like, I mean, we get a few videos sent in of like actual talent, like singing or playing the piano or something, or playing the drums or a guitar or whatever. But we get a lot of videos sent in that are just like you don't even really know what you're watching. It's hard to describe. You really just need to tune in and check it out. But anyway, round 2 was yesterday, and today we got the finals coming up next Monday over there on the morning show. But anyway, the Duck Knight had a good entry into the talent show this year. Shout out to you, Duck Knight. Carolina Jackpot. Carolina Jackpot has no discernible talent. Carolina Jackpot does hang out on the morning show. However, in 4 or 5 years that we've been doing the talent show, he has never sent in a talent video, which leads me to the only logical conclusion that my buddy Carolina Jackpot, as much as I love him, and I do, the man's got no talent at all. Which is an obvious shame. Big Orange is here. Gamecock fans unite. Sam, Mr. Matt Dog, what's up, buddy? Jackpot says he's been pretty derelict in his talent show duties. Yeah, well, like my buddy Zoolander said, you can derelict my balls, bud. Or my taint, too, and suck it from the inside out if you need to. But you don't send no talent videos in, bud. Nicholas Dubendorf. I'm sure you had an easy childhood. Young Citrus. Connor Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Yeah. Mr. Anderson. Should I play one of the talent show videos just to give people an idea about... I'm going to play one of the talent show videos from this year that has made it to the finals, just to give y'all an idea of what you're missing out on. Number one, if you're not watching the morning show like you're supposed to be. Number two, if you're not submitting talent show videos. He deleted it. I can't show it. He deleted it. I'm going to have to get on to him about that. I'm going to have to get on to him about that. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Well, you missed out, is all I can tell you. Go to the morning show and watch it on there. I don't blame him for deleting it. It was pretty disturbing, but amazing. But amazing. Why not show you? Okay, fine. Fine. You talked me into it. You talked me into it. You talked me into it. I don't know what to tell you. You talked me into it. No, I didn't mean that. I meant exactly what I said I meant. Come on, dummy. Fine. You twist my arm. You twist my arm and talk me into it. Yeah. What am I looking for? I'm going to play you just a little bit of it. I'm just going to play you a little bit of it. I mean, you got to tune in to see the whole thing. I mean, let's see. What are we looking for here? There's VicTube. VicTube had a talent, believe it or not. Where's the one? I'm looking for a certain one to show you, because this will really give you an idea. Here we go. This will really give you an idea here of what I've ever watched, of what's going on the morning show as far as the talents go. Here you go. You'll remember this from yesterday.
Discuss the importance of and for my lawn tractor, I like to use Comet. Comet is good for the soul. And it's also good for the mowing.
This might be the best video I've ever watched, period.
A little bit over here. You get some over here on this side, a little bit down the back, and over here on this side. And a good.
Isn't Comet like extremely abrasive? I can't believe he's dumping Comet on himself.
Coating of Comet is always good for you, you know. It helps to clean away some of the stuff that gets on your mower and your equipment and your gear.
That's what. There you go. That's all you get. But so if you're not subscribed to my second channel and you're not tuned into the morning show, that's the kind of shit you're missing by not tuning into the morning show over on Uncle Lou's second channel there. Let me see. Can I? Do I have the link to my second? Here you go. Here's the link to the second channel. If you're not on the second channel and you want to check it out, there it is. The only thing I do over there, I do a morning show about 4 days a week at like 8 a.m. So check it out. It's not a football channel. I'm warning you. So if all you care about is football, there's no reason for you to go over there. We talk football over there sometimes, but it's not a football channel. It's just a live show where we shoot the shit every morning and from like 8 in the morning to 9 or 10 in the morning, an hour or two every day. Anyway. The talent show ongoing over there on the second channel started last week. Round 2 was this week. We'll have the finals on Monday. There you go. All right. Now, do y'all want to talk some college football? Is that why the majority of you are here, or at least 1 or 2 of you maybe here to talk football? Evan, what's up, buddy? Thank you for hitting the super chat. Thank you for reminding me. The super chat. If you want to help support the show, super chat's a great way to do it. I choose to play circus music with a monkey banging the cymbals at the start of these shows for obvious reasons. Well, because of that, I can't monetize these shows. So super chats, PayPals, Cash Apps, direct donations are what keep these live shows going. So Evan, thank you for hitting the super chat. He says, you got soft hands, Woo. I just finished a 36-hour shift on the surface of the sun. Pac-12 Kalen smells like Hypel after Malachi makes him run laps. There's a lot going on there. I do have soft hands. That is 100% true. I moisturize. So I do have soft hands. I just finished a 36-hour shift on the surface of the sun. Well, you work outside. I'm taking it. But it was hot as hell here today. 100 degrees real temperature here today in Augusta, Georgia. We're no strangers to heat down here, but 100-degree days are pretty rare. Pretty typical temperature this time of year is like mid to upper 90s with 100% humidity. So today we actually cracked the 100-degree mark with 100% humidity. So it's absolute misery here. It's hard to even cool off the inside of the house when it's 105 degrees outside with 100% humidity. It's almost impossible to get the house under 80 degrees in this kind of heat. So I feel bad and have a lot of respect for anybody that's having to work outside in this kind of heat. Now, to my credit, I did this very show and this very channel outside for about 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Who remembers the garage days? Now, you think it's hot outside? It's hotter in your garage, I promise you. I don't know how the science of that works. But if it's 95 degrees outside, it's 105 degrees in your garage. And believe it or not, I did this entire show, this whole channel, everything about this channel was done in a garage for about 3 or 4 years, from basically 2015 through 2020. So I technically did work outside for a time being. Luckily, those days are behind me. My heart couldn't take that kind of thing now, I don't think. And then he says, Pac-12 Kalen, of course, Kalen DeBoer, smells like Josh Heupel after Malachi makes him run laps. Malachi Moore. That shit was funny last year with Malachi Moore bossing the coaching staff around. I can't believe, I don't understand how they went 9-3 with Malachi Moore running the show. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, Evan, thank you for hitting the super chat. The super chat is right below the comment section. Just click that little $sign. You can leave a note, question, comment, troll attempt, even if you want to, whatever you want. I'll be happy to read it and respond. It's a great way to help support the show and the channel. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. That's free. And also a great way to help support the show and the channel. Doesn't take you any time, effort, energy, nothing to just hit that thumbs up button. It's just the right thing to do. It's the right thing to make do, too. So make do and hit the thumbs up in 2. If you want to take the extra step and help support the show, the super chat's right below the comment section. Cash App and PayPal are in the description of the video. I'll post those links too. There you go. Attach any type of comment. I'll be happy to read it and respond. All right, you want to get to the phone calls and talk some college football? Does that sound like a fairly good plan, or what? Let's see about that. Good morning, but you're on with Uncle Lou, though.
Oh, good morning. Starting
Yes.
starting strong as you normally don't do on this show.
Right. Try to keep expectations to a minimum around here.
Apparently, well, Castellanos is going to make me a very rich man come September.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doubling down on my Alabama beat the soul and will to live out of Florida State come September. So thank you to that.
Let me ask you something about that, because I did want to talk about that tonight. So here's my thing about that. Like, I want my players to feel that way. I don't want them to say that publicly. Especially when they, they're like I know he wasn't on it. He didn't play for Florida State last year, so he wasn't a part of the 2-10 mess. But still, the team that he is on went 2-10 last year. It seems like maybe the right sort of approach this offseason might be to try to fly under the radar. Maybe not make public statements like that. I like the idea that, hey, your quarterback's maybe a little cocky, a little confident. I like in the locker room, on the practice field, and maybe even after you've won some games, maybe say something publicly. But I feel like this is a bad move for Castellanos here in the offseason, with Alabama coming to town in 6 weeks or 12, whatever it is, 8 weeks, however long it is, 10 weeks, whatever. I would, if I was a Florida State fan, I would not want my quarterback running around making those types of statements right now.
Yeah, you're an underdog as it is, and now you've given him some billboard material. You've given Kalen DeBoer billboard material, and this is coming from an Alabama team that, in Alabama circles, thought they should have been in the playoffs last year. Now, I don't agree with that, but they maybe feel a little bit slighted, so maybe they got something to prove. Maybe they want to prove the playoff committee that maybe they should have put him in over, say, an SMU, for example. I don't agree. But also, I got one joke, and I'm going to get out of here because I know you probably got a busy show. What does a piece of ham and an Alabamian have in common?
It's got to be something about being salty or something.
They can both be inbred. You all have a great night.
Ah, thank you for the call. Okay. The salty angle was a possibility, though. Ham and Alabama fans, both salty. Both salty. No doubt about that. All right. Well, great call-in show today. I appreciate everybody tuning in. We had a bunch of amazing calls tonight. So I guess I'm going to have to hang out and let the comment section troll me for an hour. I don't know. Surely I'm not going to end the show 10 minutes in. I've done it before. And I'll do it again. Like the kids say, don't test me. Don't test me. Guy on Twitter said he wants to fight me today. Can I find that? Let's see if I can find this here. This guy said he wants to fight Lou. See if we can find this here. A lot of people tweet me, so it takes me a while to scroll down to find this here. Did he delete it? No. Where is this guy? Hope he didn't delete it, did he? That would be silly. That would be silly. Is this it? Oh yeah, this guy here. This guy wants to fight me. Posted a Bruce Lee picture. This guy here. Now this is a well-known troll here. This guy's been trolling. I think since YouTube and Twitter was invented. This JWO character here. He says, "Fight me, Lou." What do y'all think? Should I take him up on his offer? I did ask him, are all your affairs in order? You know, I'd hate for something to happen to him, and you know, he didn't have all his affairs in order. So anyway, I'll keep you updated. I'll keep you updated on that. Boy, water, coffee, and willpower. Willpower. Can I get a hashtag willpower in the chat? Hashtag willpower. I'll have to tell you the willpower story someday. From weightlifting class in high school. I'll have to tell you that. I'll have to tell you the willpower story one day. Thank you, David. Yes, hashtag willpower. Coffee, water, willpower. Willpower. I've got a lot of willpower. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
What's up? Can Texas but can they do the think about, and they do the same thing they did to Bama, and did the same thing they did to Michigan when they get ready to go to the horseshoe?
Can they? Yeah. I mean, I think Texas is one of the best teams in the country. I mean, I think Ohio State is too. I think Texas.
I remember.
I don't know that they
will. Alabama fans.
They can.
They told the Texas the fans that there was no way that Texas can beat Bama.
Yeah.
And in a rematch and on the road. Not only they lost by about 10 points. They starting quarterback, the next game he got benched.
Dang, I do remember that. South Florida. Yeah, Texas can beat Ohio State. Will they? I don't know. It's at Ohio State. It's gonna be tough.
The last off the season, the Bama fans they were trying to tell the the Michigan fans that you better to watch out, and we was telling the Bama fans that there's no way that we're losing to Texas, and they beat us by almost 30, by almost 35 points.
Dang.
And and that told us that, oh, they knew what they was talking about, and here we are, me and the rest of the Wolverine fans. We're trying to tell the Buckeye fans, y'all better be prepared to face Texas again. But even though you beat them in that bowl game, but they taking that that semifinal loss. They taking it personally.
Yeah. I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I don't really know if there's anything I can add to that. That's literally exactly what I was going to say.
At one point, they wanted to make a law where every time they play a top 10 non-conference opponent, it can only be a night game, but Texas, they did the right thing by blocking it.
Yeah, well, Ohio State's players, coaching staff, fans, and legislature are the softest on the planet. Thank you for the call. It was great to hear from you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yo, Lou, I think your StreamYard, I don't think it's your streaming mic it's hooked up to. I think it's your laptop or computer. I don't know if you care about fixing that, but...
Fixing what?
Through StreamYard, it's not your streaming mic. It's like a different mic. I don't know if that matters to you, but...
well, what can I do for you?
Do Bama fans know their coach has 0 natties?
Do Bama fans know their coach has 0 natties? Most of them do, because I've spent the better part of the last year telling them that. So
yeah, I saw that on Twitter. I just wanted to come on and talk some win totals, get your opinion. I like Ohio State under 10.5. They lost both running backs, both coordinators, their quarterback. They lost all that senior defensive talent on defense. And so I see them losing probably 2 of Texas, Michigan, and Penn State.
Yeah. I would either bet the under, like you said, or not bet. There's no way I would bet the over. There's too much unknown, like you said. All we know is that they're super talented. Now, they might go 1-0, well, blah, 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 that deal. We know that. They might do that. But from a betting perspective, it's hard to bet the over 10.5 with Ohio State because of everything you just mentioned. It's, they have a legitimate non-con schedule this year, which they didn't have last year. They played 3 lower classification schools last year in the non-con. This year they have to play Texas. They still play Michigan at the end of the year. There's the entire Big Ten schedule to get through. New coordinators, new quarterback, new running backs. Lost some key pieces on defense. So there's enough questions around Ohio State for me not to bet over 10.5 wins. I haven't put a bet in on under 10.5, but I would either take the under 10.5 or I wouldn't bet it. There's no way I'd bet over.
Yeah. For the chat, I'm biased. I'm a Michigan fan, but I kind of look at Ohio State like, now they recruit a lot better than Michigan, but 2023 Michigan lost so much, including the coaching staff, and so I kind of look at it in a similar way. I don't think they're going to be as bad as Michigan was last year because they recruit a lot better, but kind of same idea. Miami, I kind of like under 9.5. They play Notre Dame, Florida, Louisville. Those are probably their 3 toughest games. And we saw last year, like, they dropped games they shouldn't, or they were damn close with teams they shouldn't be just because their defense was so ass.
Yeah.
What do you think about Miami at 9.5?
I'd probably have to. I know they don't play Clemson, but they do play SMU and Louisville.
And Syracuse.
And of course Notre Dame and Florida, right?
Yep.
And their win totals at 9.5.
9.5, yeah.
I'd probably take the under. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah, me too.
Miami could make the ACC championship game. Like I don't think they're a terrible team, but man, we're talking about betting here. We're not. So this isn't trash talking or whatever else. This is. I mean, are they going to be better this year than they were last? I mean, they went. What were they last year? 10-2.
I think 9-3. They didn't make the playoffs because they lost that last game, right?
Well, they lost.
Weren't they 9-3?
No, I think they were 10. They only lost to Georgia Tech and didn't they only lose to Georgia Tech and Syracuse?
I could be
Or
misremembering.
Louisville and Syracuse, or I forget. Anyway,
They lost.
I don't know.
Yeah.
9.5. I mean, boy, Notre Dame's probably going to beat them. I'd go under.
Okay, and then last one. I don't know if this team will even get close. Wisconsin's at 5.5. They got to play. I mean, they could have a 3-win season. They play Bama, Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon, Washington, Indiana, Illinois, and then I think they lose at Minnesota at the end of the year. I think people sleep on Minnesota every year. I mean, they're not great, but I think
they've got the
that.
hardest schedule in the country, in my opinion. Harder than Florida's.
Yeah. All right. Well, I see Octavian's in the waiting room, so I'm gonna get out of here and make room for him.
All right, buddy. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, good to hear from you. What happened to VicTube? VicTube was in there, but he changed his. No, there he is. Yeah, good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yeah. Good morning, Lou.
Yeah, good. But I appreciate you staying up late tonight for the call-in show, Mr. Tube.
No,
Thank
it's
you.
only it's only 9:30.
Oh yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah, but anyway, so I wanted to get your opinion on Virginia, because I just did a preview and prediction for Virginia, and yes, I do think that they will make a bowl this year. So
All right, I'm gonna have to pull their schedule up because I haven't done a Virginia prediction yet. So let's see.
No one really cares about Virginia besides Virginia fans.
Well, it's not that I don't care. I have given up on Virginia and Virginia Tech until they prove otherwise. I went all in on Virginia Tech last year. Not all in like winning a natty, but like I went all in on Virginia Tech being a legitimate threat in the ACC, and then they opened up with a loss to Vandy, and it was just I gave up on them from there. All right, let's put this on the screen for Virginia. Coastal Carolina, they can win that one. At NC State, I can't give them a win there. I mean, I know NC State was disappointing last year, but Virginia's been disappointing for 2 decades. It's a road game. I probably got to go with NC State there. So that's 1 loss. I'll give them a win against William and Mary. Stanford at home, I'll give them a win there. I think they can beat Stanford at home. Florida State at home, 50-50. I do think Florida State will be better than they were last year. Could even triple their win total. Florida State could and get to 6 wins. I'll give Florida State the win there for now. I think they lose at Louisville. What the fuck? Why are they playing Washington State? They're going to lose in the middle of the year. They're losing that game just for playing it in the middle of the year for no reason. They're losing that. At North Carolina, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to give them a win there. Bill Belichick might not know what he's doing. At Cal, I'm going to give it to Cal because they're the home team, but that could go either way. Wake Forest, I think they lose to Wake Forest. I think they lose to Duke. And then they probably lose to Virginia Tech at the end of the year, but rivalry games, 50-50. I don't know. This looks like borderline bowl eligibility to me.
Right. Well, I do think they're going to be a little bit better than last year. I mean, they did. They got a good transfer portal class, so I think that they're going to be a lot better at a lot of positions. So
Right.
I mean, like they're gonna I think that they're getting an upgrade at Adam at quarterback. They got a quarterback from North Texas who did pretty good numbers wise. Anyway, I know it's the group of 5, but I think he'll be better than the quarterback they had last year. So
yeah, I can't wait to find out.
Yeah,
I'm waiting with bated breath to see what type of product Virginia puts on the field this year.
Yep.
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 Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad that Wisconsin is trying to do something about all this tampering stuff, because we know that it's been going on, but I mean, I guess it's just kind of hard to prove, I guess. But
yeah, well, let me ask you this: which team with the word Virginia in it is going to be the worst? I can think of is there three, or am I missing one? I'm thinking of three teams with the word Virginia in it. Which one will be the worst?
It's Virginia, Virginia Tech, or West Virginia. All right. Well, I think that it's not Virginia Tech, because I had Virginia Tech beating Virginia. Because they normally do. It's kind of a father-son kind of situation. But
I hate to hear that.
so yeah, I guess it'll probably be West Virginia. I guess.
Yeah. I think I probably agree with you there. You got no faith in Rich Rod, or he just needs a couple of years?
I don't know. Yeah, I think he just needs a couple of years.
Didn't they bring in 70 players in the portal?
Yeah, but they lost 70 players.
Didn't they bring in 70?
Right. Okay, yeah, they did. Which means that they also
120.
lost a lot too. So
Lost a lot. Yeah, they did lose a lot. But aren't they used to losing?
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it seems like all the Virginia teams are pretty much down bad.
Yep.
Is there any other group of three teams that all have the same word in them that are as down as the Virginia threesome is?
Let's see.
Yeah, you can't. Arizona State, Northern Arizona. They're better. They're better just because of Arizona State, so they're not as bad as the Virginias. Well, what else do we have with
about
at least
Florida State, Central Florida,
in Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they worse than the three Virginia teams we just talked about? Now that's close. I'd love to do a playoff. West Virginia, and Virginia Tech versus Florida State, Florida, and Central Florida.
Yeah, and don't forget, Florida Atlantic and Florida International.
Yeah, Florida's got teams in reserve. There's so many dog shit teams in Florida. They got teams in reserve. They got reserve dog shit teams.
Yeah, they got South Florida. They got West Florida.
Boy, they go 6 deep in terms of shitty teams. So that's pretty bad there.
Yeah, I don't know if there's if there's a North Florida or an East Florida. I've only heard of a South Florida and a West Florida.
Right.
But they might have an East and a North too.
Dang.
But.
Yeah, FAU, FIU, UCF, USF, UF, FSU. Let me ask you something. Is it pretty bad whenever there's 11 football teams in a state and Miami is the best one? That's bad, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And of course,
that is real bad. That's real bad, Vic.
Yeah, and then in California, you've got Southern Cal, you've got regular Cal, also called Cal Berkeley. You got UCLA. You got UC Sacramento and UC Davis, and
that's right. Now the trio of UCLA, Southern Cal, and Cal, that's pretty bad.
Yep.
That's pretty bad. That might be up there with the Virginias. It's going to depend. It's going to come down to Southern Cal and Virginia Tech. Which one of those teams is actually good? Because Virginia and West Virginia are definitely not good. Cal and UCLA are definitely not good. Southern Cal and Virginia Tech may be good. So it's going to depend which one of those two teams in terms of which trio of ranked teams from the state is shittier. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
do. Now, which state can we think of a state that has 3 that is the best? Is it Georgia, Georgia Tech, Georgia Southern? Is it Alabama, UAB, South Alabama? Is it Texas Tech, TCU?
Yeah,
Or Texas A&M, whatever 3
Texas
you want.
A&M. Yeah, Texas A&M and Texas Christian.
Yeah, probably
Texas State.
Yeah, it's probably Texas because you can get 3 Power 4 schools out of there that all might be decent this year. Texas, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. All 3 of those schools could be top 25 contenders at a minimum. 2 of them could be playoff contenders. Texas and Texas Tech could be playoff contenders. Vic,
Yeah, get playoff contenders in that.
playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah, this was a fun exercise, Vic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, buddy. I appreciate you calling in. I'll see you Thursday morning on the morning show.
Yep.
All right.
See you Thursday.
All right, there you go. Vic's Tube. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, Lou.
Yeah, good morning in that.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good. So I wanted to come back on this call-in show just to obviously talk a little bit about college football. I guess my first question I would like to ask you is, who would you say is coming into the new college football season? Would you say is an overrated team and then like an underrated team, just based off of like the overs and unders that we've been seeing?
I think Georgia Tech is underrated. I think Texas Tech is underrated. Overrated. Who's overrated? We did this the other day with LSU might be overrated.
Oh yeah.
Some people have them making the playoffs or winning the SEC or whatever, but they could go 8-4 again if they lose to Clemson. Brian Kelly's going to be under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Is it raining
now that you
there?
mentioned LSU,
Is it raining
what was that?
where you're at?
No, it's not. What are you hearing?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what that noise is.
Yeah, but back to the LSU part. You do bring up a good point too, because I feel like that LSU versus Clemson game, it's a huge game at Death Valley, right? I feel like the winner of that game would be in a perfect spot to make the playoffs, but I feel like LSU needs to win that game more than Clemson does.
Oh, way more, because Clemson can lose that game 100-0 and still be the favorite to win the ACC, which means they'd automatically make the playoffs. LSU, on the other hand, if they can't beat Clemson, they probably got 2 or 3 at least other games on their schedule. They're going to be just as hard. So they're going to, if they can't beat, it's a lot more pressure on LSU. Hey, I'm going to have to let you go. I'm not sure what's going on there with that. But if you listen to your call back, you'll be able to hear what I'm talking about. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou, what's up?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I'm doing the StreamYard for the first time, so if I fuck it up, give me a pass. Don't call me a dummy just yet.
Well, I can't promise not to do that, but so far, so good, though.
All right, awesome. I'm going to start off with this Castellanos kid. He might as well just shot himself instead of saying what he said. Last time Bama and Florida State played, they knocked out Florida State's quarterback for the season in the first half of the first game.
Yeah.
Shut up, kid. So suck it. Go ahead and get your shit talking ready. I like Miami. No, I'm not in Florida. I think they go 10-0 and lose their last 2 games.
Yeah, the last
they
2
don't
games
leave
are on
Florida.
The road. Yeah, the last 2 games are on the road.
Yeah, and they're up north, and they don't even leave Florida until SMU, and that's like the first or second week of November.
Yeah, so you think they're going to beat
Notre
Notre
Dame?
Dame?
Have a history.
You think they're going to?
Go
You think they're going to beat Notre Dame, Louisville, and SMU?
I'm about to get to that here. They always lose a game they probably should win. Georgia Tech, for example, Syracuse, for example, Middle Tennessee State, for example, Duke several times, for example. They're probably going to screw up, but That's just me being optimistic. But if I had to place a bet, I'd still say 10 wins, lose the last 2. That's my take.
Yeah, be interesting if that happens again, because 2 ACC losses may or may not get them into the ACC championship game. Last year, it didn't get them in, and that's what cost them a playoff spot. If they're going to lose 2 games, they'd be better off making one of them Notre Dame, because it's a non-conference
true.
game.
Or Florida. I
Or
hate to say that.
Yeah.
Even South Florida.
Yeah. If they're going to go 10-2, one of those losses better be to Notre Dame or Florida, or they could find themselves on the outside looking in again. Although, if they do like what you say, then they'll have wins over Louisville and SMU. So maybe they still get in through some kind of a tiebreaker to play Clemson in the ACC championship game. Hard to know without knowing what everybody else's record would be. But, hey, thank you for the call. It was good to hear from you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, what's up, Lou? I just wanted to ask you, what do you think about all this trash talking? I know Thomas Castellanos and Diego Pavia, they put a big target on the back. What do you think about it, and what do you think the coaches think about it?
Well, with Castellanos in particular, I don't I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I want my players to feel that way privately in the locker room and on the practice field. Like, I want my quarterback to be confident. I mean, I don't want anybody on my team going into a game thinking they're going to lose. But that's different than saying something like that publicly. And I'm kind of surprised he said it, because he's not I know it's his first year at Florida State, but he's a veteran guy. He's been around the block. He sort of knows, I think, you're not supposed to kind of say those kinds of things. Maybe because he was hidden away at Boston College, where no one cares about football up there. I mean, you can probably say whatever you want as a Boston College player. It's never going to get brought up on a show like this or ESPN or Sports Center. It's no disrespect to Boston College, but the Northeast is a professional part of the country. They just don't care or pay attention to college football up there. So maybe you can run around at Boston College and say all kinds of dumb shit, and no one notices. But at Florida State, you say something like that, everybody hears it, picks it up, they run with it. It's all over Twitter. It's all over every show like this. It's everywhere. And you're not playing Helen Keller School of the Blind week 1. You're playing an Alabama team that was extremely disappointing last year compared to their expectations under Kalen DeBoer. If Alabama can go in there and win that game by 40, that's what they're going to do. They're not going to take it easy on Florida State. And I think Alabama's way better than Florida State. I mean, I thought Alabama was going to blow them out a month ago before any of this happened. So I don't know that what he said actually impacts or affects the game at all, because I think Alabama's just so much better than Florida State that it's not going to come down to, well, if Castellanos wouldn't have ran his mouth, maybe they would have won the game. No, will this give Alabama some extra motivation? I'm sure the coaches will bring it up to the players. Coaches look for anything to motivate players, but Alabama was going to beat Florida State regardless. But still, I don't want my players running around saying shit like that. And I know he wasn't on Florida State's team last year, but he is now. And so he's on a team that went 2-10 last year. Shut up, go to practice, do your work, get better. And if you want people to think you're good, then show up on Saturdays and get a first down every once in a while, because last year they couldn't do that. So I think it's terrible that he said that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like the money getting to their head that they're like some big shot, but I swear I haven't seen this much trash talking in the offseason. I'm just started watching college football like not too long ago, like religiously, but is this normal?
No. I mean, it's going to become more normal. But see, it used to, a coach or an athletic department could tell the players, you're not allowed to go on these. You can't go on this podcast or that podcast or do these interviews and that. They used to just tell them you can't do that. It's like after a game, right? Is every player available to the media after the game? No. The coach picks which players are available to the media, and he picks players that he knows aren't going to say something stupid, put their foot in their mouth. It's usually upperclassmen, that kind of thing. But because of the NIL rules and laws, they can't restrict players from appearing on these podcasts anymore, because in a lot of cases they get paid to make an appearance on these shows. So it's out of the coach's hands now. They have to just hope the players don't go out and say something dumb or stupid. So I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of that than what you used to. But the Diego Pavia thing bothers me less, and maybe this is fair or unfair, I don't know, but it's fucking Vanderbilt. I mean, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
But
I do think it might fall off this year. Honestly,
you think what?
I'd fall off.
What might fall off? His head might fall off. What'd you say?
My bad. I said I think Tennessee actually might fall off this year. I mean, they lost their running back, they lost their quarterback, and shoot, I'm worried for them.
Well, yeah, they might fall off, as in not go 10-2 and make the playoffs, not fall off to the point where they're losing to Vandy. I don't see that happening. Vandy's not any good. Vandy was a good story last year because they beat Alabama and because Diego Poverty has been in college for 10 years and beat Auburn 9 times somehow, which is one of the weirdest stats in all of college football history. Diego Poverty is 4-0 against Auburn. That's just fucking weird, or whatever his record is against Auburn. And they beat Alabama, but they weren't a good team. They barely made a bowl game. They're not going to make a bowl game this year, I don't think. They're not any good. I don't think they're beating Tennessee. I agree Tennessee is going to fall off some, but this isn't 10 years ago where falling off means going 0-8 in the SEC. I don't see that happening. Hey, thank you for the call. I think they'll handle Vandy. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Oh, shit. My turn. All right. Quick one for you is going to be nice and simple. All right. If you were a betting man, you had to bet 3 Power 4 coaches losing their job this year. Who would they be? And as well as 2 Group of 5 or FCS coaches bumping up into the power conferences.
Yeah, I'm skipping the whole thing about the Group of 5 or FCS because I don't care anything about it. But three Power 4 coaches that might lose their job this year. I'm going to go with Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. Hugh Freeze at Auburn. And let's go with, I want to say Mike Norvell or Billy Napier, but I don't think either of those schools care.
Didn't Norvell get a huge extension with that 12-0 shit?
Norvell's got a huge buyout, and Florida as a school and as an athletic department no longer cares about football, or they would have already fired Napier. I mean, there's nothing really worse Napier can do that he hasn't already done. So who did I say? Luke Fickell, Hugh Freeze. I mean, there's a lot of other ones that could lose their job. Brent Venables, Billy Napier, Mike Norvell, Stoops, Freeze. Either of the Virginia coaches could be on the way out. Bill Belichick, Sam Pittman at Arkansas, Lincoln Riley at Southern Cal. Yeah, there you go.
I actually think Lincoln Riley would be a good one, but yeah, that's all I got for you. So
yeah, all right, buddy. Yeah, appreciate you calling in. Good to hear from you. We're in a different world in terms of predicting coaches being fired because for about the last 15 or 20 years, it's hard to remember, but 30 years ago, coaches weren't getting fired after 3 years. Coaches getting fired after 3 years is sort of new to the last 20 or so years of college football, because these schools were making a shitload of money through TV deals, and they didn't have to, I mean, they weren't spending it. They didn't have anything to spend. They weren't allowed to pay the players. So they're making all this TV money. And so if a coach isn't any good after 3 years, we'll just give them $80 million and fire and pay the buyout. Well, now they got to give $20 million a year to the players. So I think that's why I think Billy Napier still has a job. I don't buy the line that, we kept Billy Napier because he won 4 of his last 6 games or whatever he did at the end of the year. I don't buy that at all. I think they kept Billy Napier because they had to pay the players $20 million this year. I think it's that simple. And so I think you're going to see coaches. Our mind has sort of been programmed to a 3-year sort of trial run with a new coach. You get 3 years. That's 3 recruiting classes, 3 transfer portals, 3 complete seasons. If you don't have it together by then, you're gone and we're trying somebody else. There's been a lot of coaches that have been hired and fired within 3 or 4 years over the last 20 years. You go back before that, coaches got a much long. Bobby Bowden coached 20 years at Florida State before he ever won a natty or something, like whatever it was, 16 years. I mean, That just doesn't happen anymore. The schools were accumulating so much money, they were just firing coaches left and right. After 3 or 4 years, they might start keeping some of these deadbeats around a little longer, like Billy Napier. You mentioned the Mike Norvell contract at Florida State. They gave him basically a Jimbo Fisher contract. 10 years, $100 million, and he's 2 years into it now. So they have to pay him a king's ransom. Plus, they're wasting all their money on lawsuits. They're trying to save up to buy their way out of the ACC, even though nobody wants them anywhere else. So we may be in a situation here where we have to sort of recalculate when it comes to like hot seat talk every offseason, or which coaches might get fired from year to year. We've been sort of operating on like a 3 or 4 year window for coaches. We might have to extend that out to 4 or 5 or 6 years. Because it looks like some of these schools are starting to keep these coaches a little bit longer than what they used to, because they don't have the stacks of cash sitting around that they used to have, because they now have to pay the players $20 million a year. Alexander, thank you for hitting the super chat to help support the show, buddy. He says, could you feature a jackpot meltdown clip of the week come football season? I love you, Carolina Jackpot. I've been saying, as long as I've been doing YouTube, that the absolute best game reactions every Saturday during the season is Carolina Jackpot watching a South Carolina game where they're either losing or it's close in the second half. For my money, those are the best reactions on a Saturday during the season. As far as featuring a meltdown clip of the week, I stream all day on Saturdays. I don't get to see all the meltdowns. I usually don't find out about the jackpot meltdowns anymore unless someone tells me about them. But if you want to be responsible of finding the jackpot meltdown of the week and sending it to me, then I'll be happy to feature it here on the channel. Ty My 845, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, Lou, what will it take for the group of 5 to break off? It will take the Power 4 telling them that they're not invited to the playoffs. I think that's what it'll take. Now, I think they should just make the decision on their own to break off. It's not fair, I don't think, that there are, 65 group of 5 teams now, something like that. And at most, one of them is making the playoffs. Like, you're basically, in going into a season, there's 2 or 3 group of 5 teams that really have a realistic shot of making it. The other 60 teams are just, the other 60 teams just have no shot at a real postseason outside of a bowl game. I think the group of 5 should break off and form their own playoff. But I don't think, just like I think Notre Dame should join a conference, but I don't think Notre Dame's going to make that decision on their own, and I don't think the group of 5 is going to make the decision to have their own playoffs on their own. I don't think Notre Dame's going to join a conference until they're excluded from the Power 4 playoff, and then they'll join a conference. And I think the same thing will happen with the group of 5. Gunnar Stockton could be pretty good this year. Also a UGA fan I know. Have him a nickname, and it's called the Stalker. Late 80s to early 2000, they play nearly every year. I'm just going to do any more. I'm about to stock y'all some L's. I'm up in the air on Gunnar Stockton. I like what I saw out of him from Notre Dame, but they got to let him run more. I don't know if that was a Gunnar Stockton issue or if it was a coaching decision or what for the Notre Dame game. But if you're not going to let Gunnar Stockton run around, you're eliminating any advantage he has. He doesn't have the arm. He can't make he can throw the ball. He's not terrible. But I don't really understand why you would ever recruit Gunnar Stockton to begin with if you weren't going to let him run around. And in the Notre Dame game, they didn't let him run around at all. Now, maybe that's because Carson was already out, and if anything happens to Gunnar Stockton, then you're down to a true freshman, Ryan Puglisi or whatever it was. I don't know. But I hope this season they let him run around some more than what we saw in the Notre Dame game. But Georgia's not Florida or Auburn or whatever. Think of some other low-level trash fucking team. that is crossing their fingers that they're going to have amazing quarterback play so that they can win 8 games. Georgia is Ohio State last year. Georgia is Michigan 2 years ago. And Georgia is Georgia 3 years ago and 4 years ago. Georgia's a complete football team. And you don't need Cam Newton to win a national title if you're Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, whatever, fill in the blank. These teams that are loaded. I mean, we've seen over the last 4 years, you can win a national title with pretty average quarterback play if you've got elite talent around them and the quarterback's not costing you games. You know, you don't need Cam Ward or Shador Sanders or DJ Wagway-Woo to win a national title. If you're Florida, you need DJ Wagwoo to go 8-4. You know, if you're Auburn, you need Jackson Arnold to have an unbelievable season so you can go 7-5 and keep your job. If you're Brent Venables, you need John Mateer or whatever his name is to throw for 5,000 yards so you can go 8-4 and keep your job. That's not what Gunnar Stockton needs to do. That's not what Gunnar Stockton needs to do. Yep. Yeah. So, yep. Yeah. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Yep. Yeah.
Uncle Lou, what's going on, brother?
Hey, buddy.
Man, listen, I got a couple of things for you, man. I'm going to try to make it quick. One, Lou, you was wrong about Georgia's wide receiver course, man, how they'll never have Ohio State level receiving core.
Yeah, they won't.
One year they had A.D. Mitchell, Lad McConkey, and George Pickens with Jermaine Burton. And that's not counting, the tight end room.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when it happens at Georgia, it's dumb luck. Lad McConkey was a 3-star with 0 offers anywhere.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I could go on and on. I mean, people weren't beating down Jermaine Burton's door either out of high school. Ohio State gets the 3 best wide receivers out of every high school class every single year, like clockwork. I mean, when it happens with Georgia, it's dumb luck.
You're right. It's like you say with us, like South Carolina can have a pop year and make a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Georgia have a pop year and have a good wide receiver core.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on. And listen, a couple of weeks ago I called in, man, and right after I called in, man, a guy called in and, like people got you running on James Franklin. Well, Lou, I got my list of top 10 coaches that's better than James Franklin.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Again with the James Franklin hate. All right, man, go ahead.
Hold on, look, just bear with me, man. Listen, hold on. Okay, one, I got Herman Boone. Anyone that can take a team to a championship during
Is that
integration.
Denzel Washington from Remember the Titans?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, hey. All right, yeah, I'll give you that one.
All right. What he did with them kids was amazing. 2, I got Bill Belichick. And I'm talking about the college Bill Belichick, not the NFL Bill Belichick.
Okay, now you don't went off the rails. Completely off the rails now.
I got Bear Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Man, that racist son bitch could coach. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, UGA killed him though, Lou.
Facts.
Hey. Number 4, I got Butch Jones, life coach. Hey, man, his life coach is the only person I know that recruits 5-star heart, Lou. You know what I'm saying? Then we got Don Staley. Shout out to USC. I know you would hate that one, Lou.
Yeah, women's basketball coach.
Then the opposing coach. I don't give a fuck who it is. I just know he's better than James Franklin. And then at number 7, we got, who is it? We got Sam Winters. He coached the best fictional college football team in history. That's the head coach from the program, Lou. Billy Napier's son's little league coach. 3 regional championships in 5 years. Go Coyotes. You know what I'm saying? Then we got Henry Winkler at number 9. Coach Bobby Boucher in the Mud Bowl. You know what I'm saying? He won a bowl game with a water boy as a linebacker. Then at number 10, we got Newton Rodney. Bringing up the rear, I knew the Notre Dame fans would love that. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the Irish.
All right.
That's my top 10.
Yeah.
Lou.
All right. You got me. Yeah. Thank you. You had me with the first one there from Remember the Titans and that. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
That was good, man. You know, he brought up Bobby Boucher. You know, the water boy coat. You need that water coat. It's high quality H2O.
Some high quality H2O.
How you doing tonight, Luke?
Doing great, Ballard. How about you, buddy?
I'm recovering from my disastrous talent show.
Oh no! Listen, no, you did good, man. You made it a second round. It gets hard to move on from the second round because I mean, you did good. I mean, your second video wasn't great. I mean, it was hard. Your first one was amazing.
I felt like if anything for me, I felt like I had the music too loud. I could have turned that down a bit. Maybe y'all could have heard me better, but it happens.
Maybe you could have turned your energy level up to like 2.5 instead of 1.5.
Here's my list of sins, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you did good though, Ballard.
Oh my gosh. Damn, I done forgot what I wanted to call in about. I mean, college football's around the corner. We're getting close, but
we are.
I'm looking forward to it. And there was something specific about Alabama, and the beef going on the internet here. What's your thoughts on this whole Ryan Williams and Diego Pavilion or Pavia, whatever the hell his name is, thing going around?
I don't know about the Ryan Williams part of it. I mean, I saw the Diego Pavia interview, but what's Ryan Williams got to do with it?
Well, he's the one that actually started it all. He said he was going to kill an ant with a sledgehammer, is what he said, and he was talking about Vanderbilt trying to get revenge, and I feel like he kind of started that crap. And I mean, no disrespect to Clark Lee or anything, but come on, Bama. Vanderbilt.
Yeah, well, look, if you're playing for Alabama, it really says a lot that you're having to spend your offseason talking about revenge against Vandy. I mean that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not good.
We're down bad.
Yeah, that's not.
We're
good.
down bad.
Now, Bama's going to beat the shit out of Vandy. I mean, Bama would have beat the shit out of Vandy 9 out of 10 times last year. Now, that doesn't matter. You don't play teams 10 times. You play them once, and Vandy whipped them fair and square. Great game by Diego Pavia. And he'll have some more great games this year, but Vandy's just not a good team. They're playing in Bama this year. There's no sneaking up. So, that's not going to happen. But Bama players shouldn't be running around in the offseason bragging about how bad they're going to beat Vandy. That shouldn't be a thing that Bama's doing, I don't think.
Yeah, we got to, I mean, not that I think it's going to be a challenge or anything, because, I mean, come on. They won 2 games last year. They got a lot of making up to do, but you got to focus on that week 1 game with Florida State.
You definitely shouldn't be at Alabama running around in the offseason talking about beating Vandy with painted fingernails. I mean, and I don't even really have a problem necessarily with if a guy wants to paint his fingernails, it has zero effect on me at all. But it's not a really tough look when you've got a wide receiver with painted fingernails talking about how Bama's going to beat Vandy. That's, I mean, that doesn't really do anything for me.
I think the thing for me, though, is like, why? Okay, what's your thoughts on this, man? Like, I get if, like, they get asked by the media, but, like, I remember the days of, like, Jalen Hurts and even guys like Tua at Alabama, they would be asked about a specific opponent in a quote-unquote revenge game, and they'd just say, nah, we're just focused on practice right now. That's all that should matter, man. Just practice and then go out and bust your tail on the field. Like, they need to get ready for Florida State, and I'm not saying that because I think they're a threat or anything, but just focus on the first game. And I mean, we don't even play Vandy till October, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I don't care how it came up. Like, you got to have a different response.
Now, I also understand, like let's say Kalen DeBoer would have been asked about Vandy. Well, Kalen DeBoer is the coach, so he's then got to pretend, oh yeah, we'll take it serious, a serious game. Anything can happen in the SEC, like typical coach speak shit. But yeah, a player for Alabama has really got no business in June. What was this, on an interview or something? Where did he say this at? A podcast?
He was
What?
on something. I can't remember what the podcast was.
I mean, was he asked about
He was
Vandy,
on a
or did he
podcast.
bring it up? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, I don't have. Well, let's see. Who do we? Well, we play Mississippi State this year. Okay, I don't have any interest in hearing some Georgia linebacker on a podcast in June talking about how Georgia's going to beat the shit out of Mississippi State this year. I don't.
Right.
Of course you are. Duh. It's fucking Mississippi State, and you're Georgia. Well, okay. Well, Ryan, you're Bama, and this is Vandy. Of course. Like, there's just no. What's the point? I don't understand. It's silly to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, we were talking about this earlier with Castellanos from Florida State, because he says they're beating the shit out of Bama. Now, that guy's an idiot. That guy's an idiot. Now, if I'm a Florida State fan, I want my quarterback Castellanos to be confident, borderline cocky. I want him to go into that Alabama game thinking he's going to win. I want all that from my quarterback. I don't want him saying that to the media in June. Like, there's no benefit to that.
I mean, you're not. We haven't even had media days or fall camp.
Yeah.
You know,
Are they going to send? Yeah, that's another. Are they going to send Castellanos to media days now that he's gone on a podcast and said they're going to beat Bama by 1 million? Or what? Oh, Saban ain't there. Nobody worried about Bama. Saban's blah, 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 blah. What, bro? Do you know where you're at? You're at Florida State, dude. They went 2-10 last year. What do you mean? Alabama.
He's got a lot of. He's got a lot of mess to clean up. You know, he's got to focus on that.
No sense. Yeah, it don't make no sense. I don't want my players doing that. I mean, I want Gunnar Stockton or whoever it is to think they're going to beat Bama. Of course, look, listen. If anybody that's ever played, I guess I can't speak for everybody, but I played on really good teams and I've played on really bad teams. And I'm talking baseball and football were the two sports I played primarily through high school. I wasn't good enough to play beyond high school, but I played both through high school age. Some of the teams I was on, we were really good. Some of the teams I was on, we were really bad. I never once got off the bus before a game thinking we were going to lose. So, yeah, I want Castellanos if I'm a Florida State fan, or Gunnar Stockton if I'm a Georgia fan, or whoever else to think they're going to beat Bama or this team or that team, of course. But why, if you're the quarterback on a team that went 2-10 last year, and you're playing the team Bama, who in a down year went 9-3, the worst year they've had in 15 years, not likely to be that bad again for another 15 years, and they're coming to your place on week 1, why in June do you feel the need, if you're whatever Castellanos, to run your mouth about Bama? It doesn't make any sense. I don't want that. Think that. Don't say that. Right? I mean, y'all in the chat had to have played sports through some level. Did you ever go into a game thinking you were going to lose? Of course not. So, like, I know Castellanos thinks Florida State can beat Alabama. I don't need him to come out and say that, though. I mean, the whole bulletin board material thing, and I don't know how much of that
it's called fuel to the fire.
Really matters. I mean, Bama's going to beat Florida State, whether Castellanos said that or not. Like, I don't think this is all of a sudden now Alabama's going to be like, oh, did you hear what that quarterback with the unpronounceable name for Florida State said? Okay, now we're going to start practicing harder. No, like, Bama's going to beat them anyway. But now that quarterback's going to have to answer questions about after the game, you know. Remember what you said back in June? How do you feel about that now that you just got beat by 40 at home on opening week? Like, there's just no benefit to doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Ballard, thank you for the call. I feel like I'm getting riled up for no reason. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Calm it down, Lou. Calm it down, bud.
Willpower.
I mean, willpower. And I'm sure these Paylou baseball bets will get you plenty upset.
Boy, I got to check those scores, man.
How's the Paylou baseball moving going?
God. All right, let me refresh the scoreboard, and I'll run through it with you real quick and tell you what we did.
Hopefully I don't upset you more.
All right, I had the Detroit Tigers to score more than 4.5 runs, and they've already scored 9, so that's a winner.
Nice.
I had I had the Red Sox to beat the Angels. It's 1-0 in the third inning. The Red Sox are winning. I had the Blue Jays to beat the Guardians. They won 10-6. I had the Mariners over Mariners Twins over 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings. That was a winner. And I had the Royals to beat the Rays. That was a loser. So, but that's pretty good though. That looks like about 4-1 today on the baseball bets. So I'll take 4-1 every single day.
For a sport you know nothing about, I take it all day.
Hey, ain't watched one inning, bud. Ain't watched one inning. You know what sport I bet the worst? You know what sport I'm the worst at when it comes to betting?
College football.
College football. Me and Pete talk about this all the time on the Lunch Money Show. We overthink the shit. We're too invested in college football to bet on it reasonably. It's really weird. Me and Pete both do way better betting NBA, Major League Baseball, college basketball, NFL, shit we don't watch. We get to bet in college football. We're like, we might as well just be setting money on fire.
All you need to know about me is, man, I lost outpicked Vic last year. That's all you need to know about me. I don't know nothing about anything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
dang, dude.
Yeah, I think
you ought to be
Vic
banned.
lost he won like 2 all year, and I was 1 of the 2.
You ought to be banned for life from gambling.
I know. I think, you know what? I actually quit, so don't worry about it. Real quick, I was talking about Big Ten football in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
The schedule is brutal. You done talked about it many times. But when I think about Wisconsin, it reminds me of what Michigan tried to pull back in like 2008 when they hired Rich Rod. They had, we're going to change our whole culture. We're going to, start running the option, doing all this stuff. And it just never worked out, right? Wisconsin is a big offensive lineman, running down your teeth kind of team, right? And I don't know what Fickle, it might work out there, but I don't know if he's going to survive this year or not, to be honest with you. I don't know. Trying to change Wisconsin's culture it's tough to do with those teams.
Yeah, well, he screwed it up because it was a good idea, but the implementation was bad. He fucked up a lot of the hires when he first got there, and now he's basically having to start over in a year where their schedule is just absolutely brutal. I mean, Wisconsin could be almost twice as good as they actually are, and they would still maybe only win 8 games. They're not very good, and they have a brutal schedule. Now, you can only blame a brutal schedule for so long. I mean, eventually, you got to beat some good teams. Like I used Georgia as an example from last year, but Georgia beat 4 playoff teams last year. Like, if you have to play 4 playoff teams, that's a hard schedule. Well, Georgia did it, won the SEC, and made the playoffs. So the idea that, you can't fire somebody because you have a difficult schedule. At some point, you got to start winning some tough games, and it ain't going to happen for Fickle in Wisconsin. And I don't know what their financial situation is up there. I don't know what his contract or his buyout is, and all that. I don't know, but it has not worked there. And I was high on. I thought it was a great hire. I loved that hire, and I was wrong because it has not worked out.
People told me Rich Rod was a good hire because he had #1 West Virginia, and then he chose Michigan over Alabama. I always wonder how the culture of football would have changed if he didn't turn down the Alabama job and they never hired Saban. Yeah. Just think about that. Just think if he went to Alabama.
Right. Yeah.
It would change the whole football as we know it probably. But no, he wanted to go to Michigan and just ruin everything. But we'll see. Hopefully it works out for Fickle. I mean, Wisconsin, they seem to be the kind of school that's going to stick with their coach for as long as they can. So maybe he'll get 1 more year. If he can pull out 6 or 7 wins this year with that schedule,
I'll say this: if it doesn't work out for him there and they fire him, I think another Big Ten school should pick him up. Purdue, somebody. Like I still think Fickle can be a good coach, but he has dug himself such a hole at Wisconsin right now that I don't know if he can get out of it. But I think he would deserve another shot, and he's a Big Ten guy. I think if he's going to be a head coach, I think it should be in the Big Ten. So maybe, it didn't work out at Wisconsin. He might have to go a sort of a tier lower in terms of programs. Purdue has been really bad for a long time. Whatever, fill in the blank school, I guess. But I still feel like he could be a successful head coach somewhere. But, boy, he screwed it up big time in the beginning at Wisconsin. He just can't get out from under it.
Here, just hot take. Okay. Ryan Day, great coach, right? Top 3 coach, 2 coach, whatever, right? But he loses to Michigan again this year, right? To say he loses again, he gets booted out in the first round. That fan base is so crazy. That dude just may take a job in NFL as a coordinator or as a head coach, right? Leave Ohio State. That would open up for Fickle because they wanted Fickle at one point too to come there because he coached there, right? They like Fickle.
Yeah.
So could happen. I don't think Brian Day's going anywhere, but with that fan base, if he loses to Michigan 5 straight, they're going to drive his ass out of town. They don't care if he won a title or not. They're idiots.
I do think that if when there comes a day that Ryan Day is not the coach of Ohio State, I do think that will be the reason that he walks away, because he's tired of the. I thought he might do it last year. I really did. I thought after that Michigan game, he might look for something else and walk away. Because they were dumping on him bad.
Like, I was thinking like his ass is gone, because that fan base is nuts. That dude wins every game, loses to Michigan. I understand the rivalry better than anybody, right? I know that game means everything, but that dude's a great coach, and they just like trying to run his ass out of town. Now he won the title. They forgot what they were saying about it. But if it happens again, they lose again to Michigan.
Yeah.
And then they maybe don't make it so far in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He might. I mean, he's going to get an NFL coaching job offer.
Well, and the thing is, the administration there, luckily, is smarter than the fans. So like they're never gonna fire any coach who goes 11-1 with a loss to Michigan. Like that's just never. I understand the fan part of it. Oh, I'd rather be 1-11 with a win than 11-1 with a loss. No, you wouldn't. You're lying. And the administration's not nearly that dumb. But so I do think if there ever comes a day where Ryan Day is not the head coach at Ohio State, it will be because he chose to walk away, either just to walk away or for another offer somewhere, most likely in the NFL. I don't think he's getting fired, no matter how much the fans bitch and moan and cry about it on the internet. It's just, it's a bad look for the fans. But the administration, unlike Tennessee, the Ohio State administration is smart enough not to let the fans run the program. The Tennessee administration is stuck on stupid with that shit. They're doing straw polls and shit down there with the fan base for every decision they make. They're dumb as fuck.
Last time Tennessee won anything, I was a junior in high school, man. So that's all you need to know about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's been forever. I'm 44 now. So forever. But retarded. All right, man. You enjoy your night. Good luck on the gambling on sports you have no clue about. And I'll talk to you later.
All right, Mike. Good to hear from you, buddy. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
What's going on, Uncle Lou?
Octavian, what's up, buddy?
Man, what's going on with these fools down here in Tallahassee, man? What's going on with these fools, man?
They think because they got a top 15 recruiting class that I guess that's going to save the day. I don't know.
They're used to losing. They're used to losing. I don't understand them. They're going to lose again. Their coach going to get fired. And they just a dumpster fire. Who the fuck goes to Florida State? Fuck Florida State, man. They is some crybaby ass bitches, dog. I just can't stand them. I hate them.
I know you do.
I just can't stand them. I hate them. I hate those son of a guns. I just put them a tier below Georgia. I hate Georgia the most, but those FSU fans, I just can't stand them. I just can't stand them. And these South Carolina fans get a little mouthy out of the ass. They get a little mouthy. They say Lenore Sellers is they superhero or whatever. But I just got a question, Lou.
Yeah.
When the last time South Carolina has ever won anything meaningful?
What, 1969? They won the ACC championship in 1969. Now they won the East, the SEC East one time with Steve Spurrier, 2011, I think. They won the SEC, but in terms of like trophies, I know some bowl games give out trophies, but I mean legitimate trophies. They won the ACC in 1969. They won the SEC East one year. I think it was 2011. I might have the year wrong, but anyway, they won SEC East.
2010.
2010. Okay. And that's it.
Like these South Carolina fans are just they're delusional as hell.
I don't even think South Carolina ever played in a BCS bowl game or a New Year's Six bowl game. I know the Steve Spurrier years, the best they did was an Outback Bowl win one year. Citrus Bowl or something. Bowl. Yeah, I don't even think they've ever won a BCS or New Year's Six game.
These South Carolina fans are just they I don't know, man. They think they're used to losing. They claim that this is their year. I don't understand that. They said they're beating Clemson by 40, which that's a damn lie because you're not beating Clemson by 40. We know that's not the damn truth. They said they're making the SEC championship. That's not going to happen. And their coach is going to get fired when y'all go 4-8. I'm just going to let y'all know that, man. Y'all trash. Florida's is an ascended team. DJ Lagway, our Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback, that y'all love to brag on this show. He's the number 1 quarterback in America, and he's going to bring the championship back to Gainesville and respect the Gainesville. Like those people in Athens, the people in Athens, Georgia, have to realize they don't run shit here. We do. We run the show here. So of course they're going to be scared of us. Oh, Florida's back. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Time's up. Time's up, buddy. Time's up. Go Gators. Fuck FSU.
All right. Thank you for the call, Octavian. Amazing as usual. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Lou. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, so DJ Lagway, the same quarterback coming off injury from last year, the Florida's back?
Well, not only is he coming off an injury from last year, he's also coming off of an injury from all spring, too. Remember, he didn't throw a single pass during spring practice because his arm.
Hey, these Florida fans are delusional. I mean, just absolute retards. They're terrible.
Yeah, I mean, Lagway has got some serious injury concerns, no doubt.
And then he forgets that their coach name is Billy Napier. The dude is an idiot. Like, complete. That whole fan bases are idiots.
Yeah, he might not know what he's doing.
But as far as us, I think a lot of people were holding down on us. I think we're going to do a lot better than what people expect, to be honest.
What does that mean?
Because we're in the ACC. I mean,
I know that.
Our schedule,
so are we? I mean, 10 wins, 8 wins, 7. What are we talking here?
Nah, I'd say 8 wins, 9 wins, really possible. 9 wins is really possible, but I'd say 8 to be safe.
Now
I'm not saying we're making the playoffs or anything, but
now I put a poll up on Twitter today. That might alarm you a little bit. But I put a poll up. It says, which fan base will be the first to realize that their head coach is a steaming pile who doesn't know what he's doing? Florida State fans or Florida fans? And Florida State fans are winning that poll at 66%.
Wait, against who? Against compared to whose coach?
Florida.
Florida?
Which fan base is going to realize first that their coach is a steaming pile who doesn't know what he's doing?
Oh. I think I still got faith in Mike Norvell. I just think it was just I think it was a lot of factors that went into that year going bad. We had a lot of people leave.
What about the other 2 years that went bad? I mean, the guy's been there 5 years. He's got 3 losing seasons. So it's more than just last year.
He also inherited a dumpster fire. I mean, it wasn't like the program was
so did Kurt Signetti
when he took over.
Well, Kurt Signetti inherited a dumpster fire too and found themselves in the playoffs in a much tougher conference. So, the idea that a guy in his 5th year can put the product on the field that I saw last year is unacceptable.
Well, I'm just going to see. I just want to see what these staff changes adding our new offensive coordinator, Gus Malzahn, and our new defense coordinator. I think I just want to see what they do first. And
I mean, look, I definitely think Florida State's going to be a lot better than they were last year. So I'm not just dumping on Florida State. Oh, they're going 0-12. They won 2 games last year to win 2. I don't think that. I think it was a fluke that they won 2 games last year. Like I don't think Mike Norvell's a 2-win coach. I don't. I think Florida State's going to win 7 or 8 games. The problem is that's not enough for a guy in his 6th year at Florida State coming on.
We need at least 8 wins. He can't go 7-5. If he goes,
they got to beat somebody too.
Below 8 wins, he's done for it.
Yeah, and they need to beat somebody, whether it's Bama, Miami, or Florida. They got to beat one of those 3.
100% agree. 100% agree. Oh, does Florida still got that defensive coordinator that looks like a 19-year-old, by the way?
I think so. Yeah, I think they do. Yeah,
okay,
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Hey, thank you for the call. I got to remember to poke more fun at that. Any Florida fans in the chat? Do y'all know? Do y'all still have that same guy? Y'all know who he's talking about? The Florida defensive coordinator. Let me find a picture of this guy. Is it the defensive coordinator? Oh, no, it looks like do they have a new defensive coordinator this year? Who was the defense? Was it the defense coordinator last year then? Not Austin Armstrong. Who's the coach for Florida? What coach is it for Florida that looked like he was 12 years old? I mean, he legitimately looked like he was a teenager. He looks younger than Florida's basketball coach. Can't remember the guy's name now. Was it Austin Armstrong? Is that who it was? Yeah. So is he still there or no? I don't see Florida State getting many wins. Well, I mean, like I said, I guess it depends what your definition of many is. I mean, I'm not here to toot Florida State's horn, but I mean, 7 wins, 8, right? I mean, surely they can get to 7 or 8 wins. Austin Armstrong's at Houston, okay. FSU has a higher win total coming off 2-10 than Florida does coming off 7-5. A lot of that's a product of the conference that they're in and the schedule they play. Florida's new DC is Ron Roberts. I swear I lose brain cells every time Octavian calls in. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
What's up, Uncle Lou?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. I was watching one of your most recent videos about, I guess, all the changes and stuff that are happening in college football, and I know you and I are both quite tired of talking about it. But one thing I don't think I've ever heard you talk about. I'm pretty new to the channel, about 2 years listening, but you ever talked about relegation and how that might work?
Yeah. I'm not a huge soccer fan, but I know enough. My son played soccer growing up forever, so I've learned enough about soccer to at least know what relegation is. And there have been people ask about that over the years when it comes to college football. I'm not 100% against the idea of some form of relegation in college football. My issue or sort of pushback or question anytime that comes up always revolves around TV contracts. I don't really know. I don't know how soccer handles that in Europe because I don't know how any of that works over there with TV contracts and all that. But like to try to apply that just to the SEC, for example. So the SEC has a contract with Disney that runs through 2035 or whatever for 16, the 16 teams, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know how that works if you say, well, Mississippi State was terrible last year, so we're kicking them out and bringing in whoever you bring in. I don't know how that works because the team that you bring in is going to have a TV contract with whoever they have a TV contract with. Now Mississippi State, who has a TV contract with ESPN, they get dropped to a league that has a TV contract with some other channel. So I don't know how all that would work. I don't think it'll ever happen in college football, but it is an interesting idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess one of the other things that I was kind of curious about is, I mean, we don't have much of a sample size from Gunnar Stockton, but I mean, I am a bit concerned about it too. I mean, I see it kind of turning into a Carson Beck type situation too, where we might not know too. I'm not trying to compare necessarily the two together, but I mean, it seems like a lot of people were optimistic about Carson Beck going into the year too, and I understand the drops led to a lot of his struggles as well. And I don't know. I don't really see much of a step up from Carson Beck in Gunnar Stockton.
Well, Carson Beck had the second best passing season of all time last year at Georgia. Right. So no, Gunnar Stockton's not going to do that. And Georgia will probably be a better team if they don't need him to do that. We couldn't run the ball last year. But Gunnar Stockton's not going to give you what Carson Beck gave you through the air. He doesn't have the ability, I don't think. Now, we've got better wide receivers this year, so it's not always an apples-to-apples comparison when you do that because you got different sort of supporting pieces around those two different quarterbacks. But Carson Beck's season last year at Georgia was the second best passing season in Georgia history. Or no, not the second best. It was top 5. Carson Beck has 2 of the top 5 passing seasons in Georgia history, 2023 and 2024. Gunner's not going to do that. But I think Georgia is better off if he doesn't have to. Like, why did Carson Beck have so many passing yards last year? Well, because we were losing Alabama by 100 at halftime. That's why. Because on 3rd and 1, we couldn't get a fucking yard. That's why. So we had to throw the ball on 3rd and 1. Because we couldn't run the ball to save our life because we were terrible. It was an embarrassment how bad Georgia was at running the ball last year. And that's running back fault, running back injury fault, and piss poor offensive line fault. So if that gets better, you don't need Gunner Stockton to throw for 4,000 yards or 3,500 yards. You need 3,200 yards, 3,300 yards. And then Georgia would be a much better team. But no, there is no scenario where Gunner Stockton comes out and we're amazed at what he's doing with his arm over and above what Carson Beck did. He's not in the same galaxy as Carson Beck when it comes to sitting in the pocket and throwing the football. He's going to have to give us other things outside of that Carson Beck couldn't. Scramble ability, pick up a first down with your legs on 3rd and 5, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely, Lou. And I guess just my last question too, man. I never got to ask you, but what do you think of that last Tool album? Came out 6 years ago, I think.
What do I think about it?
Yeah, I guess
I love
rating and opinion.
I mean, look, the reality is it took so long to put it out. There was no way it was going to live up to 15 years of anticipation. So it got, there was, oh, I don't like it, or this song's too long, or that song that, or whatever. But now that it's been out 7 or 8 years, I think it fits right in with the rest of their album. It's not my favorite, but I mean, there's not a bad song on it, I don't think.
Right on, man. Well, hey, I appreciate the time, Uncle Lou. Hey,
yeah,
have a good rest of your night, man.
Yeah, man. I always love talking about Tool. Tool put out an album in 2006. Didn't put another one out till 2018 or something. And every year they were like, yeah, it's coming out next year. It was like the way Tennessee fans talk about winning the SEC. It's always next year. That Tool's album, coming out next year. And next year comes around and they're like, no, next year. You're like, no, you said that last year. You're like, no, I'm saying it now, next year. And next year comes around, same thing. Yeah, we're winning the SEC next year. Yeah, okay, I know. Same thing with the Tool albums. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Hello.
Hello.
Is my mic better now?
Do what?
Is my mic better now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. What were we talking about again? I think we were talking about.
I have no idea. I don't even remember you calling in. I have no idea.
Oh yeah,
what we were talking about.
I think we were talking about, if I remember correctly, something about LSU and them having the.
Well, we can talk about whatever you want. Go ahead.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, no problem. Georgia Tech. I really do believe that they are a sleeper in the ACC. I think they might win. I don't know if it's a hot take to say that they could win 9 games in the season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Georgia Tech could be a really good team. If they beat Clemson in week 3 or whatever it is, they might wind up in the ACC championship game. I mean, it wouldn't shock me at all. I don't think they will beat Clemson, but I think it's an interesting game. It's a scary game for Clemson. They could play in Atlanta. If Georgia Tech somehow wins that one, then I think you got to recalculate your expectations for the ACC this year. But yeah, I agree. I think they could be a good team.
Yeah, I mean, at least to me in the ACC, I feel like it's Clemson that's currently on top, at least, preseason rankings. But then the second spot is an all brawl, I feel like. There's some good teams that could easily be the second best team in the ACC. For example,
Georgia Tech's 5th in the odds right now behind Clemson, Miami, Louisville, and SMU.
Wait, what odds are they? You said they're the 5th?
They're 5th.
Oh, 5th.
Georgia Tech's 5th, behind
exactly,
Clemson, Miami, Louisville, and SMU.
My point exactly. You got teams like Miami, Louisville, SMU, who made the ACC title game last year. I mean, it's not like it's a foregone conclusion. I feel like all of those teams have a really strong case of, at least representing themselves in the ACC title game.
Yeah,
that conference is wide open when it comes to that.
Yeah,
for sure. And then LSU. I feel like they are kind of overrated in a way, but at the same time, like I wouldn't be that shocked if they like made the playoffs as like a 9 or a 10 seed, just because of the talent they have. But they have a lot of holes on their team, I would say.
Yeah, problem is if they don't beat Clemson, then they run into a situation where they almost have to win the SEC to make the playoffs, because if they lose to Clemson, that's one loss. And then if they don't win the SEC, that means they probably had 2 losses in the conference. That's why they're, if they don't make the SEC championship game, that means they had a couple of SEC losses. Well, if they had that and a Clemson loss, that's 3 losses, and they probably wouldn't get in. So they either have to beat Clemson, I think, or win the SEC. Now, they could beat Clemson and win the SEC, but if they lose to Clemson, they're going to have to find a way to win the SEC, I think, to get in. And I don't think they can do that. So I'm just and I don't think they're beating Clemson. So I don't think they're getting into the playoffs. I think people are over. I think people are reaching on LSU. I understand the Nussmeier hype, especially compared to the lack of other big time returning QBs in the SEC. And yes, they have a lot of talent. There's no doubt about it. But they had a lot of talent last year and the year before too. And they rely a lot on the portal, and all it takes is a couple of those pieces not to work. And let's not forget, it's not like they lost to Alabama last year by a field goal. I mean, they lost by 40 at home, didn't they? Didn't they lose by 40 at home to Alabama last year?
Something like that. Yeah, I'm looking at the score. Yeah, they lost 42-13 at home against Alabama on primetime television yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the knock on Brian Kelly when he was at Notre Dame was that he couldn't win the big games. Now, at Notre Dame, all of those big games were occurring in the postseason. They were either New Year's Six games or playoff games, and he got humiliated in every single one of them. Well, in the SEC, there's 2 or 3 of those games a year. And right now, he's not winning enough of those at all. I mean, he made it to the SEC championship game his first year and got destroyed by Georgia. They were losing by 30 at halftime. His second year, he had the best offense in the country and went 8-4. Jaden Daniels' year. And then last year, not enough pieces worked that he got out of the portal. And now it's like I'm hearing the same thing again now. And I'm like, it didn't work last year. The schedule is the same. Who'd they play first last year? Southern Cal?
Southern Cal. Yeah, you're right.
They played Southern Cal last year and lost to open the season. I played Clemson this year. Clemson's, I mean, that's a step up. That's a more difficult game, and they play at Clemson. I don't know. I mean, I've got LSU ranked high. I mean, I've got them 8 or 9, something like that. I mean, so it sounds like I'm shitting on them. I'm not shitting on them. They're a talented team. Brian Kelly's a good coach. Nussmeier's a good quarterback. I really like their running back. They've got a lot of talent on defense. Perkins is back, and there's another guy too. I'm drawing a blank on his name anyway. But they've had these pieces for. I mean, this is always the case at LSU. They always have that, and they're turning into Bayou Texas A&M right now. I mean, it's almost like they're going to go 8-4. You don't even have to think about it. They're going to be really good. They're going to get blown out by somebody really good. They're going to lose to somebody really bad, and they're going to go 8-4.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm sorry. On top of that, too, they still have to play what? Florida could be a tough game. Ole Miss away is going to be a tough game, too. They still got to play those two, South Carolina, Texas A&M, and Alabama.
Yeah, yes. That's what I'm saying. So if that's what I mean, if they lose to Clemson, they're going to have to find a way to win the SEC to get into the playoffs, because if they don't win the SEC, if they lose to Clemson and don't win the SEC, that means they had more losses. That's why they didn't win the SEC. So it's just a nightmare situation. They haven't won a week 1 game since 2019, LSU. And you're telling me they're going to win on the road at Clemson in week 1? I don't see it. And yeah, Nussmeier's a returning quarterback with a ton of experience. Well, guess what? So is Cade Klubnik, the quarterback at Clemson. I mean, and Clemson's defense ain't got no questions. Clemson's defense is talented and proven. LSU's defense is well, we got this guy out of the portal. He might be good. Well, he better be good in week one, bud. He better be good immediately. In week one, bud, because if not, Clemson's going to embarrass you. So, and Clemson's lost 3 straight games to the SEC. So something's got to give here. Either LSU's got to win a week 1 game, which they don't want to do because they haven't done it since 2019, or Clemson's got to beat an SEC team, which they haven't done in God knows when. They've lost 3 straight. So
something's got to give in this match, basically.
Yeah, I'm taking Clemson because it's a home game for Clemson. If the game was at LSU, I'd take LSU. But it's a lot of these week 1 games, man. They're especially the ones involving similarly ranked or talented teams: LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Texas, in particular. I don't know how you don't just take the home team. I don't know how you don't do that, because Ohio State is good. They could win a Natty again. They could go 10-2 and make the playoffs. Texas could win the Natty. They could go 10-2 and make the playoffs. I mean, either team could win there, Texas and Ohio State. So I don't know how you don't just look at it and take the home game. That's what I'm doing with Clemson and LSU. I mean, they're 2 talented teams. Both could make the playoffs. Both could potentially win their conference, all those things. But it's a week 1 game. I just could take the home team, both cases.
It's just so risky to take the road team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so risky.
Yeah, and in Texas' case, a first-year starter. I mean, I know he's got some starts under his belt, Arch Manning. And look, I'm not one of these Arch Manning haters. I think Arch Manning is going to be really good. But a lot of really good quarterbacks go to Columbus and don't play good. Like, that's a hard place to play. So, yeah, it's going to be tough for Texas on the road at Ohio State. Hey, thank you for the call. Good to hear from you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Come on in, man.
Wait, you talking to me? Oh, shit. I just joined, so I didn't expect to be on here already.
What's up, buddy?
No. I was just kind of wanting to hear what you're thinking about Oregon with how young they are.
Yeah, I think they're going to lose at Penn State. I think the rest of their games are winnable. They're likely to lose one of them. I haven't done an Oregon prediction video yet. Last year, I only picked one team to go 12-0 last year, and it was Oregon.
You were right.
I don't think they're going 12-0 this year. I think they're still really good. I think they're going to make the playoffs. They may be a better team at the end of the year than they were last year, even. So I'm not shitting on them, but it is really hard to go 12-0. So we got to get this whole thing out of our mind, because it used to be if you predicted somebody to go 10-2, you were writing them off. They weren't winning shit. They weren't making the playoffs. They weren't doing nothing. Now you can go 10-2 and win the Natty. I mean, Ohio State just did it. So, I mean, I think 10-2 is more likely than 12-0 for Oregon. I don't see them going 12-0 again. They could go 11-1. I think 10-2 is the most likely record for Oregon. I think they get into the playoffs the same way Ohio State did last year, without playing in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, I don't think any real Oregon fan is thinking they're going 12-0 this year. Like, the good record with transfer quarterbacks. Third transfer quarterback coming in. Yeah, Bo Picks comes in, first round pick, but we don't know if Dante Moore is going to develop that same way.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen him play in 2 years. He showed flashes at UCLA. He's obviously very athletic. I think he fits well with what Oregon wants to do. But until we see the guy play a couple of games, I know he's not a true freshman, but you almost, at least me, I look at him a lot the same way. I've never seen, not even a true freshman, just somebody you've never seen before. He just, like Julian Saint's talented. I don't know how he's going to play. Dante Moore's talented. I don't know how he's going to play. Gunnar Stockton, Arch Manning, Ty Simpson at Bama. You got a lot of highly ranked teams that are loaded with NFL talent that have new starting quarterbacks. And until you see them play a couple of games, it's just hard to really know one way or the other.
Yeah, and like there is no team coming in this year that was like Ohio State last year. Like we had a whole lot of veteran experience, fourth year people coming back.
Penn State.
Yes, but I mean, is Penn State's talent level this year the same as Ohio State's last year?
Well, Ohio State last year might be the most talented team in history on paper. So no, but it's just very similar. In fact, it's just like the last 2 Natty winners. Michigan in 23, loaded team, senior heavy. A lot of players came back that could have entered the draft, and they played absolutely nobody in the non-con the first 3 weeks of the season. Ohio State last year had a lot of players come back, veteran team, People that could have went pro decided to come back. They played absolutely nobody in the first 3 weeks of the season, 3 group of 5 deadbeats. And then Penn State this year. A lot of players that came back could have entered the draft, veteran team, good defense, good lines of scrimmage, and they play absolutely nobody in the first 3 weeks of the year in the non-con. So it's very similar, Penn State is this year, to each of the last 2 Natty winners.
Yeah, I can see that. I just don't think they are like the same kind of talent level that Michigan, or like even going back, like,
yeah, but they don't have to.
Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia.
Right, but 2025 Penn State's not playing 2021 Georgia or 2023 Michigan or 2024 Ohio State. They're not playing any of those teams. They're playing 2025 Oregon at Happy Valley. They're playing 2025 Ohio State.
Gonna be rough.
So I mean, they don't have to beat 2022 Georgia or 2023 Michigan or 2024 Ohio State or 2020 Bama or 2019 LSU or 2016 Clemson. They don't have to beat any of those teams because they're not playing any of those teams.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious how the secondary is going to work out, because obviously 34-0 in the first half. Yeah. No, Oregon secondary. Oh, sorry. Oregon secondary is going to work out. It's much more talented than the previous year, 2024, but a lot less experience other than Dylan Thieneman.
Yeah. Well, they better have it figured out before they play. Well, they don't play Ohio State, do you? Oh,
nope.
Yeah. No, you don't play. You don't play Ohio State this year, or you do?
No, do not. The only like real threats through the air that we're going to be playing this year, I think, are maybe Indiana, Washington, and USC.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't figured out the secondary by then, you'll know after those games. Hey, thank you for the call. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Hello? Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yo, Uncle Lou, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
All good, man. All good. Just been following my team, Alabama Beavers. Doing pretty good this season. Can't complain. Do you follow?
No.
What? Why?
I got no interest in it.
No. I don't blame you. I mean, NFL is all run by Jews and niggers, but all right. Same shit. So why don't you just
anything
watch
else? Or is that it?
What? Jews and
that's it? I'm sure you're proud of yourself, man. Good morning. You're all with Uncle Lou.
Honestly, I genuinely forgot what I was going to say because of that last call. What the hell? But, okay, now I remember. I was going to ask you an SEC or Big Ten question, but I was like, nah, you know what? Let's shift it to the Big 12 because I feel like the Big 12 is the most interesting conference as of now. And nobody know. I don't know who's going to be good, and I don't know who's going to win the Big 12 and who's going to be that playoff team that could possibly upset or spoil somebody's season in the 12-team playoff. I don't know. I'm just trying to see your thoughts on who do you think could win the Big 12.
I like Arizona State, Texas Tech, Kansas State, Iowa State, BYU. I think one of those teams will probably win it, but it's hard to handicap the Big 12 because it's a lot of very similar teams.
Yeah, I might sound foolish now, but who knows by the end of the season. Honestly, Houston is a team to look out for. I mean, Willie Fritz, his second year at Tulane.
Stop it.
What?
They're terrible.
Oh, no. Wait. I'm not trying to hype them up or say anything because what I'm trying to say is that the Big 12 is such a crapshoot that you just don't know. That you just do not know.
Right. Most people don't know, but of course, I do know. I know stuff. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's true. You're Lustradamus.
Yeah,
but
I know stuff. Houston.
And I was just trying to throw Houston out there as a name. With the Big 12, you just don't know.
Yeah, well, I know, but I do know. But here's the thing, though. Houston, we have a problem. And the problem is they're not any good. Problem is they're not any good. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
I think he could compete for the starting guard job if they didn't already have a good guard duo, which in my opinion they do.
Yeah, it must have been. Sorry to bother you, whoever that was. Leuston? No. Lou and LV. Lou and LV. No, I don't want to hear no Leuston. No, Houston's terrible. Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. You're not any good. That's the problem. Yeah, the FSU quarterback went 7-6 at Boston College. Well, he didn't play all of last year. He got hurt, so you can't attribute all those games to him. He only played about half the year, I believe. Yeah, I like Texas Tech, Arizona State, Kansas State, BYU, Iowa State. One of those teams, but trying to pick like which of those six, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's right about the Big 12 being a crapshoot. I just don't think Houston is involved in that crapshoot, or West Virginia. Lou, are you mods allowed to ban people? Who needs to be banned? Luke Fickell went 6-7 at Ohio State in 2011, only losing season since 1988. He might do better at a Big 12 or Group of 5 school. When's the next Vegas trip? 10 days from today. No. Yeah. I leave on July 4th. I leave on July 4th to go to Vegas. Hey, Lou, who do you think will be the first to win an ACC title, Miami or Iran? Well, right now I'd have to go with Miami. Iran's not in the ACC. They're in the OPEC. They're in OPEC. I do believe. Jake says, big fan, longtime listener. Would love it if you made another Things That Irritate Me video at some point. Buddy, I got a list a mile long. I could make a list of things that irritate me video every single day from now to the end of the year, and still have shit left over to talk about. So I'll be happy to do that for you. Ryan Williams has an NIL deal with a nail polish company. What's bad is that I don't know if that's truth or troll. It could be either one. It could be true. It could be true. Yeah, it could be true. Do you think Bama makes the playoffs? Well, I've done a Bama prediction video, and I've got them going 11-1. So that would be yes. I do think Bama makes the playoffs. Conference realignment, Iran or Ukraine or North Korea, who will get taken by a conference? Boy, I would take Ukraine out of those three. Bama looks to have the best offensive line and wide receiver group this year. I'd take North Korea for the nukes. Yeah. Lou, is Iran underrated? Well, I'm not sure you really want to get into that. the game I'm most excited for this year, right now, Kansas State, Iowa State, because that's the first game in week 0. So that's the one I'm looking forward to the most right now, because that's the game they're giving us in week 0. I don't know about the game I'm looking forward to the most out of every game this year. I mean, there's a lot of huge games. And then, depending on how the season goes, there are games that are going to be played in October and November that might not look that big now, that once the season gets underway, all of a sudden they look like monster games, you know. It was hard to say. Will there ever be a marquee week 0 game? Well, they're talking about letting anybody that wants to play in week 0, so we'll see if that passes. They haven't passed it yet, but it's on the table. Right now, you got to get special permission from the NCAA to play in week 0. But they're talking about making week 0 a permanent start date for college football. A lot of the schools are in favor of doing that because it would give you an extra bye week every year. So we'll see. But right now, as far as what week 0 games we get, it's up to whatever teams agree to play them. It's not like, in other words, you can't force a team to play a week 0 game. It has to be 2 teams have to agree to play in week 0, so which makes it hard to get good matchups. But I mean, we've had some good matchups. You had Georgia Tech, Florida State last year, Iowa State, Kansas State this year. I mean, these are good games. The obvious downside is you get one less week of practice. You know, I mean, technically those teams get to start practice a week earlier, but I just don't think it's the same. Why is there a false narrative that Drew Aller can't run? Because people are just allergic to saying anything good about Penn State at all, whether it's their coach, their quarterback, their team, anything. People think Penn State's going, 5-7 every single year. And then at the end of the year, they look up and they're at 10-2 or whatever they are. And people say, oh, yep, they were overrated. I'm like, what? Overrated? You spent all summer telling me they were going 5-7. Now they go 10-2. You're telling me they're overrated. What was the last Georgia game I went to? Georgia Tech in 2022 or 21. Well, it was in Athens, so let's see. What was last year was 24. It would have been 22. 2022 in Athens. 2022 in Athens. Droovy does thank you, though. Yeah, Droovy, thank you. Thank you for the Droovy. Thank you, Bryce. Even Miami versus Florida in 2019 was good, but it was sloppy as hell. That's probably the best week 0 game we got in terms of a marquee matchup. Penn State never wins the big game now. What's the big game? A playoff game? Because I think, didn't they win 2 of those? LSU lost to A&M 38-21 last year at Kyle Field. Yeah, Ohio State had lost to Michigan that day, and I made a video about it in the car on the way home from the Georgia Tech game. Yep. Texas A&M is not a service academy. True. That's 100% facts. They're just as much a service academy as Georgia or Notre Dame or Bama. They're not a service academy. Texas A&M just has cosplaying military band. That's basically what it is. It's stolen valor is really what it is. They run around pretending like they're at a service academy, but they're not. It's just it's souped up ROTC is really all it is. What's more likely to happen? Florida winning 10 games or the barn beating Bama? The barn beating Bama. Now, I don't think either of those things are happening, but in terms of what's more likely, it's more likely that a team gets lucky one week, Auburn, and beats Bama, than it is a team gets lucky 5 or 6 weeks, Florida, and wins 10 games. The Braves game inside of Bristol is going to be badass. Yeah, I don't know anything about that or care. It is an odd-numbered year. Yes, 2025 is an odd number. You are correct. You are 100% correct on that. Yeah. What's going on here? I need the Red Sox to score again. Red Sox up 1-0 over the Angels. I need them to hang on and win. What else? Nothing, I don't think. Did pretty good today. We're going to go 4-1 in baseball today, so that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'll take it. I'll take it. Groovy, thank you. James Franklin is probably the third best head coach in the Big Ten right now, just behind Ryan Day and Dan Lanning. Who's going to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft? I have no idea. I don't know anything about that. I have no clue. I'm guessing it's going to be that boy from Duke, but I have no clue. I don't know anything about the NBA or the draft. 5-star dummies probably give you the best ratings. Did the Braves win or did they blow it? I don't know. I didn't bet on that game, so I didn't even look at the score. Let's see. Braves won 7-4. Yeah, Braves won 7-4. Do you think donating plasma is a good side hustle? I mean, I don't knock anybody that makes money legally. So, I mean, people do what they got to do. I'm not gonna knock somebody for how they earn a dollar as long as they're doing it legally. And if they're doing it illegally, that's their business too. But the Mets have lost most of their games since they flew the LGBTQ flag. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that doesn't have anything to do with it. Florida has been garbage since 2009. Florida last natty 2008. I don't know when the Missouri prediction video is coming. It's on the list, but I don't know yet when when it'll be out. Does it look really bad for Kirby if he loses to Bama this year? As bad as it looked last year. Noah Thomas will have a blame Bobo. Didn't Georgia score 40 points and 500 yards against Bama Please tell me somebody did not watch the Georgia-Bama game last year and blame the offense. What in the fuck? Gotta be kidding me. We gotta be living in some kind of alternate universe here. Lou, I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Yeah. How many different teams have went back-to-back in college football, Lou? I don't know. How many different teams? Shit. Not very many. On average, about one per decade. You got Georgia did it in the 2020s, Bama in the 20-teens, Southern Cal in the 2000s, Nebraska in the 90s. I don't think anybody went back-to-back in the 80s. But on average, you get about one team a decade goes back-to-back. FSU will sue Boston College after Bama bends them over and runs it in raw. Big Gator Chomp. Aren't you the 5-star dummy that leaves comments about my wife in the comments section? No, I don't even have a wife, but I guess you think I do. But aren't you the Florida fan that leaves comments about my wife in the comments section? Isn't that you? Big Gator Chomp. I disagree about Southern Cal going back-to-back. LSU won that season, but it was a split title. Well, whether you agree or not is besides the point. He says, no, that's not him. You know I can look up every comment you ever made. You do know that, right? Aggie is definitely more weird than any other university. Oklahoma at Tennessee should be an absolute classic this year. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game, too. Real good game. Let me see if you have... I'll have a schedule preview, I'm not doing, it's not, you mean a prediction video. I have a prediction video out tomorrow. Bama flew 700 miles to Oklahoma to kick a field goal. Yeah. What's your favorite college tradition? I've been praying to God Florida doesn't fire Billy Napier. I'm not sure how much, that might be a waste of time, but not sure what effect that's going to have on anything. Yeah. Texas A&M has fish camp. Which team would you permanently eliminate from the SEC? None of them. Have you heard Thomas Castellanos taking shots at it? Yeah, we spent half the show talking about that. Billy Napier looks like Sling Blade. Dang. What you doing with that lawnmower blade? I aim to kill you with it. I aim to kill you with it. I don't even know what the fuck all that is with them emojis. Look like you. Did you have a stroke or something? In any given conference, you can't have the food or the good without the bad. What's up, Luke? Oh, congrats, man. You made the marching band? That's awesome. The only people who can keep a job for being wrong are weathermen and Billy Napier. Oh, boy. Will you be purchasing College Football 26? No. Octavian, you're a sorry-ass team. Florida been sorry for over a decade. Well, they were decent in 2020, but that was the COVID year, so it really doesn't count. So, yeah, other than that, yeah, they've been pretty terrible. We run the state. Octavian, you might run the state mental hospital. That might be true, Octavian. All right, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. When Florida goes 7-5 again, Billy getting fired, and DJ hitting the portal, book it, says K-Starg. Napier's contract isn't really through 2028. It doesn't. When a coach's contract ends, doesn't mean anything as far as whether or not you're going to fire him or not. Coaches under contract get fired every year. The buyout is what matters, not the length of the contract. You can fire a coach can be under contract till 2050, and you can still fire him if you want to. Napier will go 7-5 and get an extension. Well, the fans will be happy with 7-5 again, won't they? They were happy this year with 7-5. All right, y'all. I am going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Thank you to everybody that took the time to call in. Of course, you can't have a call-in show without a caller, so shout out to y'all. Really appreciate that. Big shout out to everybody who helped support the show through the Super Chat today, too. Duck Fan Down South, Bryce, Cavs Fan 45, Destroyer, Tyler Forbes, Jake, Bryce, Alexander, Ty My 845, and Evan 215. Shout out to everybody in the chat for keeping it lively. Best comment section on all of YouTube right here. Pretty average channel, but an unbelievable comment section. So shout out to y'all. I'll be back Thursday night at 9. We'll do this all over again. So if you didn't get a chance to call in tonight, give me a call on Thursday. We'll talk some college football. All right. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their week, and have a good morning.